On a Monday night in January 2025, the most watched show on Netflix wasn't Stranger Things. It wasn't a prestige drama. It was a man getting hit in the face with a steel chair. WWE Raw, the same wrestling show that aired on cable for 31 years, moved to Netflix and finished its year as a top 10 mainstay in over 30 countries. Netflix paid $5.2 billion for it. And here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. Netflix didn't just kill cable. Netflix is becoming cable. The numbers prove it. By the way, the spreadsheet for this is in the newsletter. We'll get into it. Let me back up. The original Netflix pitch was beautiful. Pay one flat fee. Watch what you want, when you want. No ads, no bundles, no live TV, no 200 channels you never watch, no 4-year contract with hidden fees. That was the 2007 promise. And in fairness, Netflix delivered on it. For almost a decade and a half, you got exactly what was on the box. And for almost 2 decades, that pitch worked. It didn't just work, it triggered the largest consumer migration in the history of American television. Cable lost roughly 30 million US subscribers between 2012 and 2025. Per J.D. Power's January report 2025, the average cable bill is now over $120 a month, and people are still walking away from it. The penetration rates of pay TV in American homes, the percentage of households that even had cable, dropped from 88% in 2010 to under 50% in 2024. There is a generational shift. There is the kind of decline that takes companies down with it. Netflix went from a DVD mailing service to over 300 million paying members worldwide. That's bigger than every major US cable provider combined. So most people think this story is over. The disruption ran its course. The good guys won. Streaming is the future. Cable is the past. End of story. But watch what's actually happening on Netflix right now. Watch what they sell you. Watch what they put in front of you on Monday nights. Because somewhere between the password crackdown of 2023 and the WWE deal of 2025, something flips. The disruptor is wearing the disrupted's clothes. Ads, live sports, weekly appointment viewing, tiered pricing, hidden metrics, bundling deals. Every single one of those things is in the cable playbook, and Netflix is running them all. I'm going to walk you through 8 numbers that show this isn't a coincidence. It's a strategy, and by the end, you'll see exactly which cable company Netflix is trying to become. Number 1. The ad tier nobody thought would work. In 2022, Netflix did something they'd sworn they would never do. They added a tier with ads. Reed Hastings, the co-founder, had said for years, quote, "We don't have ads. We're not adding ads." End of conversation. 3 years later, according to Netflix November 2025 corporate updates, the ad-supported tier reaches 190 million monthly active viewers globally. That's bigger than the entire US cable industry. And Comscore reported in August 2025 that 45% of American Netflix households now watch on the ad tier. In 2024, it was 34%. We went from a third to nearly half in 12 months. Number 2, the ads work scarily well. Netflix ad revenue grew more than 2.5 times in 2025 to over $1.5 billion. According to the Q4 shareholder letter filed with the SEC, they're forecasting that to roughly double again in 2026 to about $3 billion. For context, that ad revenue alone is bigger than the total annual revenue of most cable networks. Netflix isn't dabbling, they're building an ad business that competes directly with what cable was selling for 40 years. And that's not even the most cable thing they did. Number 3, live wrestling on a Monday night. In January 2025, WWE Monday Night Raw moved exclusively to Netflix. The deal, disclosed in TKO Holdings, the SEC filing, is worth $5.2 billion over 10 years, $500 million a year. It worked. Raw finished 2025 as a top 10 mainstay on Netflix in more than 30 countries. Now, think about what that show actually is. Live programming, weekly, same time, same day, appointment viewing. That's not the on-demand model Netflix sold us in 2027. That's the cable model, word for word. Number 4, NFL on Christmas Day twice. December 25th, 2024, Netflix streamed 2 NFL games, Chiefs vs. Steelers, Ravens vs. Texans. What's the average audience? 26.5 million US viewers per game. Variety reported the deal at $150 million for 3 years of Christmas Day games. They did it again in 2025. They'll do it again in 2026. Live sports, holidays, national events. That's the exact formula that kept cable bundles glued together for 40 years. If you're hearing live sports, weekly wrestling, ad tire, yeah, you should be hearing cable. Number 5. The biggest live event in streaming history. November 15, 2024. Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson. 108 million live viewers worldwide, 65 million concurrent streams at peak. According to Netflix, it's the most streamed reporting event in history. This wasn't a movie, it wasn't a binge, it wasn't something you could pause. It was a one-night-only event you had to be there for. That's pay-per-view. That's HBO in 1997. That is not Netflix in 27. Real quick, Footnote subscribers already have the full 10K annotated for this one. If you want to read along with the filings, link is in the description. Number 6. The price had tripled. In 2011, the Netflix standard plan cost $7.99. In March 2026, the same standard plan cost $19.99, a 150% increase. The premium plan went from $11.99 in 2013 to $26.99 today, per CNBC's reporting in March 2026. 10 price hikes in 15 years. That's one every 18 months on average. Sound familiar? That's the cable rate hike cycle. Cable companies got famous for raising prices a few bucks every year. Never enough to make anyone canceling any single month. Always enough to compound brutally over a decade. Now compare Netflix pricing trajectory to the average US cable bill in 2025, which JD Power put at $120.80 a month. Add Netflix Premium plus Disney Plus Max plus Hulu, you're at $90 a month just for streaming. That's not even counting live TV streaming services like YouTube TV, which now starts at over $80 on its own. The cord-cutting savings story? It's been quietly walking back for 5 years. Number 7. They stopped letting you see how they're doing. Starting Q1 2025, Netflix stopped reporting subscriber numbers, stopped reporting average revenue per member per their April 2024 shareholder letter. Why? Their official answer is that engagement is a better metric. The cynical answer? Their last reported number was 301 million subscribers in Q4 2024 and the record 19 million net adds. After that, they went dark. Their stock took a 4.5% hit the day they announced it. This is the oldest playbook in cable. When numbers start sliding, you change what you measure. Cable companies stopped breaking out video subscriber counts in their earnings reports years ago. They lumped video into media revenue. They lumped it into connected home because the truth that fewer and fewer people pay for cable each year was getting embarrassing. Netflix is now playing the same game. The metric that used to define them is gone. The metric that replaces it, engagement, time spent watching, happens to be the metric they look best on. Now let's connect the dots. Ad-supported tire? Check. Live sports rights deals? Check. Weekly appointment programming? Check. Tiered pricing with restrictions on the cheap plan? Check. Charging extra for users in different households? Check. Hiding the metrics that used to define them? Check. Owning the holiday and Monday night programming windows? Also check. This is cable playbook. Not most of it, all of it. Netflix isn't drifting towards cable by accident. They're rebuilding it from the ground up. But here's the part nobody talks about. There's actually a specific cable company Netflix is becoming. It's HBO, circa 1995. Stay with me on this. Think about what HBO was at its peak. Premium price. At a time when cable was cheap, HBO was expensive. Original prestige content, live boxing, the biggest fights in the world were on HBO. Major events. A subscription you bought because the basic cable bundle wasn't enough. And critically, a brand strong enough that people paid extra for it. On top of their cable bill, HBO wasn't competing with cable. It was sitting on top of cable. It was the upgrade. That's exactly where Netflix is positioning itself. Not as the cheap alternative, not as as the disruptor, as the premium tire that everyone pays extra for. Their content spend is going from $18 billion in 2025 to $20 billion in 2026. Per their Q4 shareholder letter filed with the SEC, their 2026 revenue forecast is $50.7 to $51.7 billion. For comparison, that's bigger than the entire annual revenue of Comcast's cable TV division. That puts Netflix on track to be the most valuable, most expensive premium channel in the world. The disruption story we all believed. Cheap, ad-free, on-demand, no live TV, no ads. Simple. That Netflix is gone. It died somewhere between 2022 and 2025, and most viewers didn't even notice it happen. The Netflix that's emerging is the cable kingpin reborn. Same business model, better technology, bigger global reach, way more leverage with content creators, and critically, a 25-year head start before the next disruption. Now here's the one-line version of all of this. Netflix didn't beat cable, it replaced it. The model is the same, the business is the same, only the wires are different. The future is going to look familiar. Expect more live events, more tiered pricing, more ad inventory, more bundling deals. Netflix is already part of cable provider bundles in some regions through Comcast. Expect a $10 Netflix plan that's mostly ads, a $30 Netflix plan that includes wrestling and football, and $50 super premium plan that maybe includes movies in theaters before everyone else. Cable's revenue model didn't die, it just changed addresses. So here's the question I want you to think about. If Netflix is the new HBO, and HBO is now Max, and Max is fighting for live sports rights, and Disney Plus added an ad tier and bundled itself with ESPN, then where does the disruption come from next? Who eats Netflix? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Real talk. This video is the short version. If you're the kind of person who wants to actually read the 10K, see the spreadsheet, check the numbers, that's what Footnote is. A free newsletter twice a week, link below. It's where the analysis actually lives. Subscribe and the next issue lands in your inbox. If you want more stories where the numbers tell a different story than the headlines, subscribe. New videos every Monday and Thursday.